So hello guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'll be sharing with you my 4 years journey in uni and how I managed to get it through. And just to give you a background, I studied in Nanyang Technological University in Singapore and I did my Bachelor's of Fine Arts in the School of Art Design and Media. So let's get started. I would say throughout my 4 years in school, I was a pretty obedient student. I always go to lectures and I always go to my tutorials. I don't really skip my class. I'm pretty introvert in school as well. I don't really make a lot of friends because if you know me in real life, I'm actually quite quiet, so I'm not the kind to go out and try to talk to people. I'm usually the passive one, so I'll just stay in my own lane and then just do my own job. I try to participate as much as I can in class. I went for my school's orientation during my first year and I would say it was really fun. I managed to make friends with a lot of people from my class. I also made a really good friend in school, Long Fei, and we are best buddies for 4 years and we go every class together and we try to match our timetable together as well. It is always good to have a good buddy in school because you can always look out for each other and also update each other about the changes in class schedule and whatnot. Throughout my 4 years in school, I stayed in my school hostel all the way. We call it halls in NTU. So basically a hall is temporary accommodation for the students who goes to NTU because NTU is very remote. It is all the way in the west in Singapore. I've been staying in the hall for 4 years and I have no regrets because I made a lot of friends from hall as well and I took part a lot of activities just to make sure that I can stay in hall. So I had an enjoyable time in hall 8. Shout out to hall 8 and all the committee inside as well. Everybody is so friendly and so nice and I have no regret staying in hall 8. It is the most convenient hall to go to my school as well. My school is just across the road, so sometimes if my class starts at 9 AM, I would just wake up at 8:30 AM and get ready and I will leave my room at 9 AM for a 9 AM class. I can get quite lazy sometimes and I would just take my own time and slowly go to school. But it's just across the road, so it's fine. It's all fine. My school's architecture is really beautiful. I guess it's one of the most beautiful architecture in NTU as well. Besides it is the Hive. If not, it's my school, ADM we call it in short. In our first year, we are supposed to take a compulsory drawing class, which I have no talent in it at all. I cannot draw for nuts. There's always a misconception that art student can draw well. It really depends on the skills that each art student have. So for myself personally, I'm more specialized in photography and videography, but there are some students who are more specialized in illustrations and drawing, so it really depends on what skill sets you have as well. During my first year in school, I have a lot of team projects as well. We are supposed to work as a team and come up with some creative ideas for different modules, and I'm glad to be able to work with a team and see how I flare as a team member in a team. What I like about working in a team is that each of us have different skill sets that we are good in, so we are able to chip in our skills together and create something that is really meaningful and really cool. For example, this film that we did in my first year was actually nominated for a national competition in Singapore, and it is such a great achievement for us to even be nominated for a school assignment, so that was really memorable. When we are in first year in school, most of our works are pretty, I would say, mediocre in one field or another because none of us are specialized in everything, but we try our best. When you're in a creative school, it's sort of part of the process to learn and to improve. It is always nice to learn from your peers as well. So if you look back at past photos of myself, before I started university, I was actually really skinny and I don't really go to the gym. But I started to go to the gym when I was in first year in uni and I met a really good buddy who is an exchange student in NTU. He's from Netherlands and his name is Dwayne and he was only there for 1 semester. But we became best of friends during his semester over there because he's such a good sport and we have a lot of things in common, and he also taught me how to gym and we kept in contact even after he finished his exchange in NTU. I actually flew over to Europe in the Netherlands to find him during my school exchange in my 3rd year. And for my final assignment for my drawing module, I actually asked Dwayne to be my model and I took a few photos of him and I used the photos as a reference for me to draw a portrait of him, and this is the outcome. We laugh so much about it because it is such a joke and I obviously cannot draw well. It is recommended to take some activities during your time in uni so that you can occupy yourself with both fun and school as well. So for me, I actually joined this organization called AIESEC. It is a youth organization that supports internships and volunteering across nations. So my job was to actually meet companies and invite them to hire interns from overseas to work in Singapore. So in my second year in school, we are expected to be more experienced in designing and visual communication. So the tutors expect our works to be even more polished. And I remember back in school, I was trying to do something that is different and crazy. And because I was watching American Horror Story, I actually came out with this. And it's so grotesque and so weird, but it is inspired from American Horror Story. And I wouldn't say I'm very proud of this work, but it is a memorable one, I would say. Being in a creative school, you are expected to know your skills already, so you do not go to school to actually learn how to Photoshop. You are supposed to learn it yourself after class or watch like online tutorials, but what you do in class is to basically explain your concept to your lecturers, and then your lecturers will give you their opinion and you're supposed to go back and try to execute it and learn the skills by yourself. So after taking part in the orientation community in my first year, I actually joined the hall production in my second year. So basically, hall production is theatre and acting. I always loved acting since young. I was in the drama club since secondary school, and in JC I was in drama club as well. So it's natural for me to actually join a hall production in my second year, and I've never looked back because I enjoy acting, and it is always a fun experience to make more friends and also train myself to be a better actor. When I was young, I always wanted to be an actor, so I thought by joining this kind of activity, I was able to push my acting skills and possibly act in the future. Being in an art school also enables me to find out my relationship with my family. So I actually did a film with my late grandmother, and it was a really meaningful film because I actually visited her in her kampong house. So my grandparents have one of the last few kampongs in Singapore, and I went over to the kampong house back then to interview my late grandmother, and she was such a good sport. She was willing to be part of the film as well, and I bonded really well with her. I didn't publish the film to the public because it is something that is very intimate to me and I wanted to keep it for myself. But I might just publish it in the future. I will see how it goes. So sometimes in an art school, you might create something that is entirely out of trash, and I remembered that I created a piece of work. It's a 3D kind of visual artwork that was literally a trash. It is to bring awareness about pollution and waste, and basically I constructed a trash bin. I constructed a trash bin that was built for myself, and for 7 days I've been throwing rubbish into that trash bin. And on the end of the 7th day, I brought the art installation to class, and I told my professor that if one person can produce so much trash within 7 days, can you imagine like billions of people producing a trash in a week? So it was quite lame, but I always have this joke with my friend that my work is literally trash. So during my second year in uni, I also made more exchange friends in school. Especially a Turkish friend, his name is Mert, and I also made another really close friend, Jess. I would say in my second year of uni, I partied a lot with my exchange friends. We would visit clubs every weekend and just party all night long and just basically get wasted, and I would say it's a fun uni memory because I don't think you can get that in the rest of your life anymore. Uni is a once in a lifetime experience, so I would like to show you some of the works that I have done in university. I wouldn't say that I'm proud of all of them, but I tried my best, and I may not be good in certain areas, but I did excel in the areas that I'm good in, and I'm proud of that. One of the things that I've done in school was to get my friend Ivan to actually write words on my back using black paint, and we went for a run together, and I took a before and after photo of how the fonts reacted with my sweat to see how my sweat is able to interact with the font on my back, and I thought that was pretty interesting. During the third year of my uni, I joined hall production again, and this time I was the producer instead of an actor. Actually, I was both the producer and an actor in the show, but I'm not the lead actor. I was more focused in trying to produce the show and getting people to come to the show. And moving on in my third year, I also took on more filming modules, and I took a photography module as well because I feel that I need to learn some basic photography skills even though I've been teaching myself online. But there are some skills that is better to be taught in class rather than online because there will be a mentor who is over there to oversee your progress, and I'm really grateful for my mentor. She taught me really well in terms of how to expand my concept. She gave me different ideas for my assignments and also taught me about how I can see things differently in different ways. Because I was in AIESEC, I actually went for a trip to Taiwan for 2 months and I taught English to a primary school in Hsinchu. I took on the role as a teacher and I thought it was really fun to interact with little kids every day and try to share with them my culture. My job scope is supposed to teach English to them, but instead I shared about Singapore culture and what makes Singapore so beautiful and amazing. I had a really enjoyable time teaching them. On the weekends, I would visit different parts of Taiwan. I went to Taipei, I went to Nantou, Taichung, Keelung. I traveled alone. I would say I have a lot of adventures over there as well. And it is so important to open up and try to talk to people and make friends because sometimes when you are alone you can get lost and you can get misguided. So it is best to always make more friends when you're on the road. And the principal and the director, we call him 主任, was really nice to me as well. And during the last day of my time in the school, I was really sad and I didn't want to leave, and the kids are always so jubilant and so excited and full of zest for life, and that's what I really appreciate as well because sometimes I can get really tired of school. In the second semester of my third year in uni, I went to America for my school exchange, and once again it was a big change for me. It was also one of the best part of my time in uni. I made a lot of friends and I stayed in a house with other NTU students who I have not met before, and we traveled to different parts of America every weekend. We went to Boston, New York City. Yeah, I think we only went to these two places, but basically for our winter break, I traveled with a close buddy of mine, Gary. We went to Mexico and we had a really good time over there as well. We visited Mexico City and Cancun, and these places left a very deep imprint in me, and I will always tell my friends that I love Mexico a lot because of its culture, of its people, and the food, and everything is so cheap over there. When I returned from Mexico, I had huge withdrawals because Mexico is such a beautiful country. During my exchange, I also met a lot of international friends. There are 16 of us in the school itself. I went to this host university called Rensselaer Polytechnic Institute. I remember sometimes when I try to save money, I would just have like a slice of pizza for lunch, or I would just drink my protein shake just to save that lunch money because I needed it to fund for my new camera and also to fund for my post-travel trips. A huge reason why I'm saving so much is because I'm saving for Coachella. And going for Coachella is a once-in-a-lifetime experience, but it is so expensive. The tickets itself cost about 500 plus Sing dollar, and the accommodation for 5 days is another $500. Coachella is one of the highlights of my life because it is just so fun. It is like Instagram in real life. You can see so many celebrities and so many influencers and so much fashion, and it was so crazy. Like everybody was just having the time of their life, and I would really want to do it again if I have the chance. It is so fun, and the fact that I managed to see Beyonce in real life, it's just a life-changing moment. And that was in 2018, and 2018 is one of the best years of my life, and I would do anything just to get the experience back again. When I started my 4th year in uni, I technically only have 2 classes per week. Basically, you wouldn't even see me in school because we are not required to go to class sometimes. More of it is based on research and also to like brainstorm on your final year project. And my final year project is basically a photo series about discrimination across the world, across different kinds of topic and issues. And I gathered all the friends that I have and also all the exchange friends that I made in school to help me out in the project, and I'm really thankful for that. And I did portrait shots of them, and every photo took me about 2 hours to edit. At the end, I also designed a book based on the photo series. For every final year student in ADM, we are supposed to come up with a exhibition for our own final year project, and I came up with a huge life-size portraits that was hung on the walls, and on the side you have the computers that plays all the recordings of the interviews, and you have a book at the side as well for you to read the transcript of the interview and also the photos that I've captured in the book. And the prints are of good quality and good color. In total, the book costs about 250 Sing dollar. Although it costs really expensive, but I have no regrets because I'm really proud of my final year project. And I finally graduated in May, where I had my graduation ceremony. In my 4th year, I traveled a lot as well. I traveled to New Zealand, I traveled to Thailand, I traveled to Malaysia, I traveled to a lot of places during my 4th year because I have so much time in school. I would say in order for you to succeed well in school is to have a nice balance between your social life and your work life, and I would say that I tried my best to balance them as well as possible. Shortly after my graduation ceremony, I received a letter from NTU that told me that I was part of the Dean's List in ADM, and I was happy. At the same time, I was like, why do you tell me after I've graduated? But still, I'm quite thankful for it. Yep, so that's it for my 4 years in uni. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to like this video. Do comment which year do you like the most, and don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel as well. I'll see you next time.